this time.
Make it so.
It's me, Mario.
I'm Batman. Strong am I with the Force.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You're a wizard, Harry.
Well, hey there, everybody.
Long time no see. That sounded creepy, Troy.
Well, hey there, everybody.
Hey there, Shawty.
No, this is our special
After hours.
Well,
Late.
yeah. It is late.
Our holiday special.
Now, this is our super special second episode this week. We're talking Star Wars Last Jedi. This is spoiler-filled, people.
Yes, be prepared. You have been warned.
Be warned. Yeah, right now we're telling you we're going to talk about everything. Everything we liked about the plot, the characters, the cameos, the everything that happened.
We're talking about it.
We're talking about it. So if you haven't seen it, or if you don't, don't listen to this, or if you don't care about spoilers, then,
Yeah.
no big deal. So,
Let's break it down.
let's break it down. So, when the movie opens, we have an opening crawl. And
In a galaxy far, far away.
I don't remember what I said. But we're right in the middle of a battle against the Resistance and the First Order. And we're reintroduced to Poe, and you see how good of a pilot he actually is.
He plays a much bigger role in this movie.
He does.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, he's flying around the Star Destroyer. He's going upside down. He's taking out X-Wings. He's yeah.
Well, that was their chance to finally take out one.
Yeah, the Dreadnought.
The Dreadnought, yeah, that's what it was called.
Which, by the way, Battlefront 2 goes right up to that point.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the story, the new chapter that just came out, goes right up to when they get the schematics for the Dreadnought and they send it off to General Organa. So
Okay, I do have to say one thing about not his flying skills in general, but just how bad these guys were at knowing who they should pick on. Like, for a second, they're just like, oh, no, don't even bother with him. Don't worry about him. Let's focus our cannons on him. And then all of a sudden, he starts taking them out.
Well, they didn't
And then,
think he was going to be that good.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but that happened like 3 or 4 times. Right? They said not to focus anything on, what's the captain's name? Phasma? What's
Phasma?
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 Right, when she flies the ship through, they said, at first they said, go ahead, don't focus on her.
Well, wait, no. No, Captain Phasma didn't fly a ship.
Oh, no, I'm thinking, who am I thinking of? Who actually busted through, their ship? It went all silent?
What's her name?
Commander,
Played by Laura Dern.
Yeah.
Vice Admiral something.
Hodor.
Yeah,
Hold the
Admiral
door.
Hodor.
Hold the door.
Yeah.
No, but they did that. They seriously did that like 3 times. They said not to like worry about him, and then he was so much better. Same with even with Finn when he was flying in to take them out, to take out everybody.
Mm.
You know, I know I'm jumping ahead, but it just kind of bugged me that like 3 or 4 times. They're like, oh, don't worry about him. Oh wait, focus all your attention on him.
Yeah.
They had to do that for the plot to work.
Well, if we're gonna do that, then yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so we're introduced to the battle. We see that the Resistance is having some issues. They are losing a lot of people.
They're kind of on their last leg.
They are.
Yeah.
We see that kind of an interesting scene where they're bringing in these bombers to take out this ship.
Which I was so confused about gravity working in space, but then I realized they were in the atmosphere of the planet that they were above, and then it made sense.
That does make sense.
I was like, things will not fall downward in space. There is no downward in space.
Kids, if you learn anything from this episode, there is no down in space.
Yes. But I think, so in the opening scene when you're on the surface of the planet and you're looking up, the Star Destroyers come, like you see them inside the planet's atmosphere and you're seeing them in daylight.
Right, they can still notice them.
Yeah.
So I think they had to put that in for it to make sense.
Yeah. So they end up actually bombing the dreadnought. There was a pilot she was the last pilot to survive the attack. She ends up dying in the explosion to take it out. And so then, excuse me, Poe goes back. Pogos?
Pogo, yeah.
Poe goes back to the General Organa, and he gets demoted because he made a bad call. He's disobeying orders. And, trying to think.
He reminds her too much of Han Solo.
Yeah. And then we see Finn. He wakes up from his space coma.
Which was a pretty funny scene.
It was a funny scene.
That was funny.
And he's in this weird type of get up, and he's spraying liquid everywhere. It's not as dirty as it sounds. And then he meets up with Poe and he asks, "Where's Rey?" And that's when we get to Rey, and she's sitting there holding the lightsaber out to Luke, which is where the last movie left off.
They picked up right at, like you said, they picked up right where they left off.
Luke takes the lightsaber, throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah. Smirks, tosses it back.
Yep.
Doesn't even care, and then walks away.
Which I think is the first time that the director, Rian Johnson, was like, you know what, fanboys? This is not the movie you're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, when I saw that, it's like, oh, it's going to be that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But yeah, and so here we have, now the story is focusing on Luke and Rey. Luke has become disenchanted with the Jedi.
A curmudgeon.
An old curmudgeon. Yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to have anything to do with the Jedi, doesn't want to have anything to do with the Force.
He came to that island to die.
Yep, that's what he said.
That's why his X-Wing was in the water.
Yep. Kind of cool that we saw his X-Wing.
Uh-huh.
I'll admit, that was cool.
Half expected him to lift it up out of the water. But,
yeah. That would have been a cool callback. And so he wants, basically, Rey tells him, look, we need you to come back to help fight the First Order. And he's like, what do you think I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to, face down the First Order with a laser sword and everything's going to end happily ever after?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a kind of a cool thing there where, it's like never meet your heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Skywalker, to her, and she mentioned it in Force Awakens.
It's kind of her idol. Yeah.
She thought he was a myth.
Right.
I mean, this guy is a legend.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's just like, no, I'm just
some old dude.
I'm just a normal guy,
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't do anything special. It's like, and she's kind of...
Well, you gotta realize that this is still a time where these Jedi are like myths and legends and like everybody hardly knows about. No, not everybody knows about it. It's not common knowledge,
Like,
Yeah.
Order 66, where the Jedi were taken out, was, what, 40 years ago? 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe not that long.
In the timeline...
I think 30.
Yeah, it's been about 30 years. 30 so
they were
years.
saying.
Yeah. But at this time, the
That's
Jedi,
a whole other generation of people.
Yeah, the Jedi have kind of passed away into kind of myth. Especially on a planet like Jakku, that's, a garbage planet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which
from
was
nowhere.
Yeah, that was a funny scene.
Mm-hmm.
You really are from nowhere.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think.
As far as I wish they would have had Rey a little bit more like her training it seemed really kind of rushed.
She didn't get any training.
Yeah.
Well, and my thing is, I mean, like we said, Luke, he's doesn't really want to be a Jedi anymore or anything like that. He starts talking about the Force, and during his training, he says, feel the Force. What do you see? She says, I see light, I see dark, I see living, I see death, I see blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you see, the Force is everywhere. It belongs to everyone, not just the Jedi. To say that a Jedi dies and part of the Force is extinguished is, I think, called a hubris. And I listened to that and I was thinking, it makes sense. The Force is everywhere.
Right.
And so he's training her from that point of view, from a certain point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, Yoda was doing Jedi training with him. He was more like hippie liberal Jedi training with her.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, look, everything
Belongs to everybody.
It belongs to everybody. Everything you heard about the Jedi.
Free love.
Yeah, free love. Make love, not war. Okay?
War doesn't determine who's right, just who's left.
Yeah. And then we're also introduced to the Porgs. Like I said in the last episode, I like the Porgs. They're just dumb little creatures on the island. They're like seagulls.
They get in the way. Yeah.
They're like seagulls, and I thought they were funny.
You know the reason why they were included in the movie, right?
Selling toys?
To sell toys.
Yeah. I know, but that's why oops, hit my microphone, sorry. That's why the Ewoks were created. That's why the prequels were created, basically.
Yeah.
To sell toys. And I'm fine with I'll probably buy a Porg eventually.
Yeah, like, it's actually on my Christmas
In the
wish
upcoming
list.
weeks, there will be a Porg over here somewhere. I guarantee it.
I'm sure they already released one with, like, Loot Crate.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Loot Crate subscriber anymore.
No, neither am I.
All right. So, we also are reintroduced to Kylo Ren, and we get a bit more of what happened with him and Luke.
Mm-hmm.
we
get actually 3 stories of what happened with him and Luke.
Yeah, from 3 different perspectives,
Yeah.
which was really refreshing. I liked that through his perspective, Luke appeared really dark and because he woke up and all of a sudden Luke's over the top of him with a lightsaber, and so he felt like he had to defend himself. And then we actually get Luke's where he just kind of made a mistake or a lack of judgment and no, I shouldn't have done that. And then he wakes up,
Well, it's like the age-old tale. No one thinks that they're the bad guy.
Right, yeah.
Everyone thinks everyone's the hero in their own story. And so...
Oh, I'm the villain, dude. For sure.
It's the hair.
Dun, dun, dun. Or the lack thereof, right? Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think that he thinks... He's just like Anakin. Not Anakin. But he thinks that the Jedi are evil. That they're the bad guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they're holding the Force and not sharing it with everybody else. That they're kind of like
The
safeguarding
Republicans.
it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No.
The Republic.
Oh, man. Mind blown.
Did we just stumble onto something, guys? I think we did.
Don't kill us, Disney.
No, Kylo Ren's story did remind me a lot of like Anakin, where he was he's still struggling with it, and you get this perspective, and you get to see his side of the story.
Yeah, he knew, and he started to feel that there was darkness inside Ben Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to his little tent, his little shack, whatever it was, and he kind of started reading his mind. It's like, yeah, there's evil here. There's darkness here.
Yeah.
So much so that he grabs his lightsaber, his green one from Return of the Jedi. That was kind of cool. See that?
Right.
Clicks it on. He's like, what the heck am I doing?
I'm about to kill this kid.
This is my nephew.
This is my nephew. Yeah.
And he's like, and he has regret, and he looks over, and Ben is awake, and
reacts in
miscommunication.
self-defense.
Yeah.
And in that miscommunication, he takes, he kills a lot of Jedi, and he takes some of them with him.
Yeah.
Who I still think that are the Knights of Ren.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he destroys the temple and all that. So we get that backstory. Another interesting thing that happened is we get a connection between Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed that.
I did
Oh, same
too.
here. That dynamic
Yeah.
between the two of them. Yeah.
I loved, and not just, the story-wise, I loved how they shot it. I loved how the director shot it. It's like they were in different places, but they felt like they were in the same room.
Well, okay.
And it was great.
They actually alluded to this a little bit with the prequel, like with the other ones, because you did have Luke and Leia. Okay, Leia was all the way on the Millennium Falcon, and Luke was down there, down below the Darth Vader, and they kind of get that connection, right? She heard him like cry out.
Yeah.
So they alluded to that. So it was actually kind of nice that you got to see that connection that they shared.
See,
But theirs was through the Force.
They could see each other. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a feeling. They
Oh,
could
yeah.
literally see and touch each other.
Yeah.
and I'm
And
wondering
kiss each other.
if that connection isn't just a Force user connection, or if it's a sibling connection.
Dun, dun,
Because the only other people that we've seen do this is Luke and Leia,
Yeah.
which I don't know. I think would be pretty cool, but also wouldn't be surprising. I think that there's no twist that they could have that would trump "I'm your father."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
nothing
I don't
like
know. The Snoke twist,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
came pretty dang close.
That's true. And that fight scene where they teamed up was pretty epic.
No, I was telling Joni, like, this is a movie of, oh, no. Of, oh, no's.
Mhm.
It's like, we're going to have a battle between Snoke and Rey. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kylo Ren, he's redeeming himself. No. Oh, Luke is
Yeah.
going to face Kylo. It's going to be epic lightsaber battle. No.
Yeah.
Which,
but when you say no, it wasn't because they didn't do something or it was lackluster.
No, it was
still awesome. It was
Yeah.
just unexpected.
yeah, what they did was unexpected.
Right.
So many twists.
Yeah.
It's like M. Night Shyamalan directed this
And
Well-
from the director of The Sixth Sense.
That's sad when he still throws that in there,
Yeah,
it's been
yeah.
20, 30 years.
Oh, and then one other thing with Kylo and Rey talking and stuff when they can see each other. When she's standing on the edge of the cliff getting the sea spray, he has water on his face
Yeah.
when he's done.
Yeah.
So they're literally transferring physical objects over using the Force.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it's just something.
Yeah. It's like were in the same space, but at the same time, they weren't.
Mm-hmm. Which, do you remember when Luke handed Leia the dice?
Yeah.
Like, he actually handed it to her even though he wasn't even there. But
what?
then they
Spoiler.
but then they disappeared at the end of the movie.
Well, I think because we saw him on the island, he got on the Millennium Falcon, turned on the lights in the cockpit,
Right.
grabbed the dice. So he had them in his possession.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was able to transfer not just his projection, but the dice's as well. My only thing is, I don't know why they lasted so long.
After he disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it was probably kind of an inception moment, the top didn't move at all.
I don't know. Maybe it was left there for Kylo, because from what I saw in that moment, that was Kylo Ren losing everything.
Mm-hmm.
He thought,
finally picking a side.
yeah, he lost his father, he lost his mother. Leia said, "My son's not coming back."
Yeah.
He lost his mentor. He lost his one hope of friendship or kin in Rey.
Right.
Because they saw each other and she shut the Millennium Falcon hatch on him. And when the dice disappeared, it's like, that's it. There's your
That was your last Rey.
your transformation is complete.
Right.
You have nothing now. And I think that's kind of what it symbolized.
Which is going to be pretty awesome because now he's got nothing to lose. This, to me, a little bit, these movies remind me more of like The Force meets the Wild Wild West. It's kind of untamed, unknown territory. They're able to just like kill people off left and right.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, the thing that I liked most about this movie, above all else, above all the visual effects, above all of the theories and things like that, is the fact that they mentioned fuel.
Fuel.
Fuel in the ships.
Mhm.
Never once has any movie in space really talked about fuel like this.
Which was a giant plot point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have this rebellion cruiser trying to get away from the Empire. They couldn't go into hyperdrive because they could track hyperdrive, which I learned today they mentioned in Rogue One.
When
Where
she's
they can
going through
track
the
it.
papers
Yes.
of...
It's like, that's cool. That was a cool little Easter egg there. And so they couldn't jump into light speed. And so they're basically just... It reminded me of the O.J. Simpson chase with the police.
Where they're on the freeway, they shut down traffic, and he's
it
just
was
like
kind of
in front of
slow and like just waiting for him to run out of gas. Basically the same thing.
it. Yeah.
And it's
You just
here
compared Star Wars to O.J.
Simpson. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was here we see that Poe commits mutiny because Leia is out of the picture because she was blasted into a space coma.
Yeah.
Which they should have just ended it there with her.
Well, I thought really they're killing off Leia quick, man. That was just like, no, she kind of Peter Quilled herself and protected herself while she was in space, and then used the Force
To pull herself
back to the ship. I mean, Yoda said, there is another.
Yeah.
Luke said she has the power, so she does. She is Force sensitive.
That kind of bugged me.
I did think that scene was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. And
It looked ridiculous, too.
It did.
They probably could have done it a lot better, but she's just like floating towards the ship like that.
Yeah.
and they
Like an angel.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't kill her off, but
yeah. I mean, there's been a bunch of
What?
well, real
Too
life
soon.
did
Too
that.
soon.
No, there's been a bunch of memes now where it shows her dressed like Mary Poppins coming towards the ship, and
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
yeah. But yeah, so she's in a coma, and so Laura Dern takes over, who's Admiral Hodor. Not her actual name, by the way. I just can't remember her name. I think it's Holdo. And she is fueling up the escape pods, basically, the escape transports, which are unshielded, don't have any weapons. So Poe's like, are you crazy? If we do that, we're going to die.
And we think that maybe she's evil
Yeah.
because of this decision. But then, no.
See?
Another no moment.
Um,
It's kind of like Oprah here.
and so, he commits mutiny, and he tries to take control of the ship. Okay, let's talk about Finn here for a second. Finn and Rose.
Literally the entire movie we could have taken them out. That whole storyline.
When they go to the gambling planet.
Yeah, the casino planet.
Or casino, there you go.
Did not like the casino planet at all. It was pointless.
Other than the fact that you get that little boy that uses the Force. Which you were saying, like, in the theaters, nobody really
seems
noticed
to
for
notice.
you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, he pulled that over.
Yeah.
It was like an Anakin moment.
It was subtle, though.
It was a foot away from his hand, and then
Yep.
Yeah. It was there.
But yeah, so their whole deal is they got to go find this master code breaker that Maz Kanata, didn't tell him his name.
Right?
No, she could have said, "Oh, his name is this." No, it just said, "Go find the master code breaker." I'm like, oh, great, okay. So they end up running into Benicio del Toro's character, who apparently is named DJ.
He's got all these like awesome, cool names, and he got DJ.
Yeah, Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
Leia Organa. I'm DJ.
I hate all those 2-letter names. They're the worst.
I know.
Ugh.
Who names their kid with just like 2 letters?
Right? Damn it. Hey, it's Alex. Just saying.
I know.
4 letters is better than 2.
Yeah. Troy's got 4 in his, dude.
Coco.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. So yeah. Anyway, see, we don't like this story so much that we're
Deviating from it.
Yeah. So Finn and Rose end up running into Benicio del Toro's character. He busts him out of prison because they get captured. And it turns out, lo and behold, he was the codebreaker they're looking for the whole time.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. They steal the ship.
It did remind me a little bit of like when they went to go find Anakin and with the pod racers. You know what I mean? Like kind of similar. It reminded me of that kind of a setting where you've got these kids that are helping these creatures and doing everything that they can.
That's true. And there's races that people are betting on.
Yeah.
And Anakin also ended up screwing everyone over.
It's true.
That's true. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, they get off that planet.
Which their romance seemed forced.
Way
very
forced. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there was a pun intended.
The Force is really strong with
You know what I had
Yeah.
wished that they had done? When Finn was flying into that gun thing, I wish that she would have pushed him out of the way and gone in herself.
Yes.
Because I don't want her to be a character in this franchise anymore. That was the weakest kiss I've ever seen in my entire
Well,
life.
he didn't even do anything.
No.
He just like looked at
He's
her.
like, what's up with this lady trying to kiss me?
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's almost like it was just like an improv moment with the actress.
And she
It did.
wanted to kiss
Yeah.
that actor.
And the director was like, yeah, let's keep that take. 'Cause it seemed like,
No chemistry.
John Boyega was like,
Say
what
what?
just happened here? Wait. I thought
Cut.
I thought my character and Ray were, no? Okay.
We had a thing. No. Oh.
right.
No, she loves him like a brother.
Well,
Brother.
that's not a problem in Star Wars.
You kissed your brother?
So, yeah.
Let's just hope they don't go all Game of Thrones.
So,
Incest with the Force.
I'm trying to get back on track here.
Oh, yeah.
So they get to the ship
Yes. They get to the ship. That's where we were.
because they have to destroy the thing that tracks people through light speed.
Yeah. That is their mission. Now they have the codebreaker. They're going to go to the ship. They're going to shut down the thing. And so then Poe on the other ship can jump into light speed and get out of there. That's their plot.
And it doesn't work.
It's
Not
poorly
so much.
executed.
Not so much. Because you think, oh, Benicio del Toro's character is on their side. No. He betrays them. He sells them out. And they are about to be executed. And then probably one of the coolest moments in the film,
One of them, yeah.
Laura Dern's character, Admiral Holdor, needs to buy time for the transports to escape because they're getting picked off. And so she takes his ship, she turns, faces is it a dreadnought or just a Star Destroyer?
it's a Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And jumps into hyperspace, destroying her ship and that ship. And it was really cool because it went all slow motion.
And it
quiet.
was silent. Yeah, it was dead silent.
Because it's in space. And
Yeah.
that's how sound works in space.
Yeah. Things
Thank
don't go
you.
down, and there's no sound in space. Kids, remember that.
Or fire.
That's right, no fire in space. So, I've read this before, but a lot of people thought that Leia should have been one on that ship.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Me too.
I would have liked Akbar to be on that ship because they killed him off
For
at
no
the very
reason.
beginning.
Yeah.
Well, he was on the ship for a while. Till he exploded.
Exploded all over the place.
Yeah, but it was just like a quick death for a, really significant character. But
And it would have been awesome if he was the one jumping into light speed, and as he was doing it, he was saying, "It's a trap," and then boom, got him.
Or they were shooting the other ships, and they're like, "Wait, it's a trap!"
Yeah.
Boom! Yeah, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
That's better.
So they end up getting away, and they go down to this planet called Crate.
Guy.
Go down this planet called Crate. It's basically a big salt planet, and that's where they're going to make their final stand against the First Order.
That was a cool salt planet.
It was.
But I didn't think it was necessary that they needed to put their hand down there and taste it.
I wanted to be that guy in the movie
Really?
that does that. He goes, salt. Because they had to pay that guy because he got a word in the movie.
Yeah.
Imagine how excited that guy was when he got the script.
Like, they're going to pay me to say salt.
I
now,
think
should
that
I say
line,
it like more like salt? Or where do I put the emphasis?
I think that line was actually necessary because you take it for granted that you live in Utah where we have salt flats that look exactly like that. I don't think everybody knows what salt flats look like.
Did they film it in Utah?
I don't think so.
No, they probably filmed it on the Dead Sea.
We get Pirates of the Caribbean. You know?
Yeah.
Looking a big rock.
So yeah, they end up getting kind of trapped in this base. There's no way in, no way out. The First Order's closing in, and who shows up to save the day?
Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker.
And that scene,
Skywalker.
okay, when he's sitting down talking to Leia, that was a scene. Man, that hit me right in the feels.
Broke my heart.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. I mean, I teared up and cried when I learned that Carrie Fisher died.
Oh yeah.
And so when that scene between them, when he hands her the dice and he says, "No one's ever really gone," I lost it.
Almost
Yeah.
tearing up now.
Yeah, right?
Kind of, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke down. I lost it. My wife leaned over to me. "Are you crying?" Yes!
Not there for support or anything. Like, oh, it'll be
Like,
okay
you
here.
wuss.
Suck it up.
Man.
Nut up or shut up.
So Luke goes out
to face the whole army.
To face down the First Order with a laser sword, just like he said.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of the most bad A scenes in the entire movie.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because you have Kylo Ren on the ship above all these walkers. He sees him, comes out, and he says, "Fire everything we have at him."
Oh.
And they just unload.
Okay, but they first, before they dropped their load, they went ahead and had like.
It's getting late. So as we record this, it's 10:46 at night.
Okay,
AJ gets punchy around this time.
There was a premature shot, right? That like hits, and that should have just killed him, and that was it.
Yeah.
But then they just like started shooting him, like kept shooting him.
Yeah, he says,
But-
"Fire everything."
Yeah.
And it's kept going and going and going and going.
It's a huge cloud of red salt dust.
Yep.
And you can't see anything but the lasers going into it.
Yeah.
And then he steps out of it. which
Brushes off the dust.
And then he brushes the dust
Yeah.
off his shoulder once. And
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Okay, that was one time. You know how you hate like when people are actually clapping in the theater? That was kind of cool. Like there's so many people clapping.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, people cheered in my screen.
Oh yeah,
too.
right.
And so he says, Kylo says, "Bring me down to him." So he comes out. They're facing each other. You know, like two old gunslingers.
And the cool thing is they had Kylo where he puts his foot in the ground and kind of like, you know, draws back the sand and salt and draws it back. And then you look up, pans over to Luke and he does the same thing, but nothing moves. Mm-hmm. You know, as well as like you said, the lightsaber, he's got it back.
Yeah, it's his old lightsaber.
He looks younger.
That was destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, at the time, you're so excited to see him, you don't notice these things at first.
Right, yeah. It's not until after that you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you think, oh, great, they're going to have a great, awesome lightsaber battle. They're going to hop off the walkers instead. No.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is they have this little back and forth, like, if you come here to say sorry or save my soul, Luke goes, no, and ignites his lightsaber.
Man, that was crazy when he tries to cut him in half.
Yeah.
I was
And
just
he
like,
does the
what the
limbo.
heck? He's like, yeah. Oh, no. Like when he actually does like slide through him. I'm just meaning, I'm like, okay, he's already killed his dad. He's already killed Han Solo. Luke, who's next? Leia?
Yeah.
Like, he's taking out the whole, like all of them.
And I think that's what the director was.
Banking on.
Because he
Yeah.
didn't show it until like you pan out and you see that he's fine.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to slide in half or
Yeah.
something else. Yeah.
But he didn't.
But he didn't. And so he walks towards him real slow, puts his lightsaber in his chest, doesn't do anything. Then it cuts back. You see Luke on the island. He's meditating. He's all sweaty, floating. His eyes are closed. And that got another chair
Yeah. Same
in the theater as well.
I was surprised. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Then he just looks at him. Last thing he says, "See you around, kid." Which is just like, just saying, you think you're so awesome,
Yeah.
but you're not.
And also, it's something that Han would have said, too.
Yep. And then he disappears. Luke falls. He's all exhausted. So this time, he did this so that the Resistance could escape. So they get through these tunnels that the little crystalline foxes showed them.
Which they introduced so many new characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Like more than I've seen in previous ones, right? Or even, I mean, they had introduced new races, but this one, it seemed like there was a lot of like more creatures.
There was, yeah. And so they come across this cavern. There's a bunch of rocks and everything. And this time, Chewie and Rey in the Falcon knew where they were. So Rey heads down there. She looks at the rocks. She says, lifting rocks. Because they were talking about, Jedi training is just...
He said the Force isn't just lifting rocks.
lifting rocks.
And then that's what she does to
That's what
save
she does,
everybody.
Yeah. Although that flight scene with Chewie, I'm like, man, he is as good as Han Solo flying that thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty trippy. Where, like, I'd be so nervous with the Millennium Falcon. You've got the glass, and you're right there with your guns. You're right up against rocks, and you're like, this sucker could break at any second.
Well, and the fact that you're not even centered on the Millennium Falcon. You got the ship, and then the pilot is right here on the right.
This is the worst designed spaceship ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, and so,
iconic, but like horribly designed.
Yeah. So, Rey moves a rock. She says everybody's a big embrace with her and Finn.
And then they kiss. No,
they don't.
Well, I was throwing back to Rose here.
Their brains kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a nice juicy brain kiss. And so they're escaping everybody on the Falcon, and during this time a couple things happen. One,
Troy tears up again.
No.
2.
One, Luke, he stammers back onto the rock, and while Rey is trying to get everybody on board, she stops, she looks, Leia stops and looks up, and you see Luke sit, he looks at the sun, disappears.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He Yodas.
He is one with the Force.
Yep. He Yoda'd all over the place.
YOLO.
And that was a surprise.
That was.
Kind of disappointing, actually, too. Because he just had this epic fight, and now he's going to be gone. He can't help anymore.
No, he can still help. He can do what Yoda does.
Yeah, but, he can't physically help, really.
I mean, Yoda did call down lightning. By the way, we didn't even talk about the Yoda cameo.
Yeah. That was kind of cheesy when he was laughing.
No, that's Yoda. That's from the original trilogy.
And that's what I thought.
Yeah, but it still seemed a little... And it kind of bugged me that Yoda's just like... I mean, I know she already took the books, but he didn't even tell Luke, she already has them. He's just like, burn the place. We don't need no water.
Let the mother effer burn.
Well, maybe that's what Luke needed to let go, is to know those books were gone without them actually being gone.
That's true, because he did tell him, but the sacred Jedi text.
Yeah.
Yoda was like, read them, have you? Page turners, they are not. I would do the voice, but it's late and my voice is going, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was cool. That was one spoiler that I did know going into it because some idiot posted it online. Not
really?
you.
Oh. You're pointing here. I'm like,
I was pointing to you. No, I was just pointing in frustration.
No, I didn't take it as that, because I didn't post it, so I don't care.
That's the only reason why I went to a Thursday showing.
Yeah.
Literally the only reason why I wanted to make it work so bad, because we almost didn't go, even though we had bought the tickets on Monday. But I just wanted to go so that I didn't have to avoid Facebook or Reddit or anything like that.
Yeah, so that was cool to see. I liked it. So Luke ends up dying or becomes one with the Force. Same thing, basically. And then another thing happens is we get another last connection between Rey and Kylo Ren.
Right.
She's on board. She's looking down the ramp at him. He's looking up at her. She closes the thing, and that's the end of that connection.
Yeah.
And so that's when Kylo realizes he is completely alone. Yeah.
He's Kylo.
He wanted to be Reylo,
but now we may get Ray Poe.
Oh.
Rapo?
Maybe not. We don't want Ray Poe.
Sounds like a malicious robot.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like a Futurama robot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. With lightsabers just going around.
So we have a couple last scenes. We have the big reunion on the Falcon. Everybody's hugging everybody, and Rey's talking to Leia. And she's like, "What do we do now? How do we get this rebellion with what we have?" And Leia goes, "Look, we have everything we need."
Yeah. Looking
at her, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So then you kind of pan out and you see everybody. You see C-3PO and R2 and Chewie and Poe and Finn and all these people. And then we have one last scene. We're back on that casino planet, but with allusions to the Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
You get this kid who's telling the story of Luke Skywalker and what he did on Crate. Kind of inspiring.
Like the other kids around him. Yeah.
Then you got this, Taskmaster comes in, yells at him. So his kid goes out, because his job is to sweep, I guess. Goes to grab the broom. Broom comes right to his hand.
Yeah.
Very cool little moment.
And then, one of my favorite posters, actually, from the Phantom Menace, is you see Anakin standing there, and then, they cast the shadow where you see Darth Vader in the shadow. I don't know, it's kind of reminiscent of that as well.
Well, and then he grabs the broom and he faces out, and it looks like he's holding a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
And he's got the rebel ring on that Rose gave him.
Well, I think that it tells you that, to me, it reminded me a lot of Beast Wars. Is where as soon as they find they're going to, this is what the direction I think they're going to go, is it's reminiscent of Beast Wars, where as soon as you find out that there's a Jedi or a potential Jedi, they're going to go try to get them for their side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, also to me, it said the rebellion, it's been sparked. The resistance been sparked. It's starting to spread.
Yeah.
It's starting to go out. Like wildfire. That's right. And I think it was also, a way of the director saying, look, this isn't the end.
Yeah.
After these movies, this isn't the end. This is going to continue. This is going to go on. Sure. New generations of characters and stuff.
Disney's got to milk that cash cow.
That's right. That's right. Got to get that Disney money. So, yeah.
Did they do a proper send-off for Leia, I think?
I don't think she's done.
Well, I mean, they're going to...
She's not going to be in the next one.
Not at all?
No.
Then why didn't they just kill her off?
Yeah.
Should have done that.
Well, they didn't know that she was going to prematurely die.
They should have just let her explode.
They filmed it in 2015, I think.
That's
and
true.
She died in 2016, so they couldn't have known.
Oh, what's 18th? 8 days until the anniversary.
Yeah.
It'll be 1 year.
Dang.
So yeah, I don't know how they're going to handle that. I hope it's not
tastefully done.
Yeah, I hope it's not like an off-screen thing, like, oh, by the way, General Organa died. Like a space explosion or something. I hope it's done a little better than that. But yeah, I think it was a good send-off in the fact that it seemed like she was going to have more to do in the next one. No more Han, no more Luke. She was going to be the one that was going to continue on. I heard that she was going to have a big confrontation with Kylo Ren,
a mother-son kind of moment.
And so, they were kind of positioning her to kind of be, kind of the big leader of the next film.
Well, okay, because you've still got Rey and Finn and Poe, and they're kind of untamed, trusted. I mean, they are in positions of power, but at the same time, they're still going to look to her.
Yeah, those three are the Luke, Han, and Leia of this trilogy.
Yeah.
But yes, and I mean, like I said in the last episode, I really like this film. I really enjoyed it. There's been a lot of negative stuff on the internet, but I think that's because Star Wars fans are becoming their own worst enemy. Yeah. They don't know what they want.
And they're very polarized.
Yes.
You're either on one side or the other.
Yeah. It's like, look, I have issues with this movie.
Yeah.
You know, I think the humor could have been toned down a little bit. I wasn't crazy what they did with Luke's character. But I still enjoyed
Overall,
it. I still liked it.
The good definitely outweighed the bad.
Yeah. And I see stuff online on Facebook all the time, like, oh, you know, plot holes they didn't tie
Plot
up
holes.
and plot holes. And, you know, is this the worst Star Wars movie ever? Or, you know,
Oh, geez.
I see it everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Just enjoy it. You know, you don't have to be that kind of fan or that kind of nerd or geek that picks apart every little thing.
I really loved your post that you put up on Facebook where it's got like the 3 little bears, where like some like it hot, some like it cold.
Oh yeah. The little kid with the with the tea.
Yeah. Where it's like, oh, I don't know, like I want throwbacks, but I want this. I don't know, like they don't know what they want. Yeah.
And I saw a comment where somebody was saying, look, somebody was complaining about it, and somebody said, look, you can't have, you can't please everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys says, no, there is a middle ground. They just haven't found it yet. It's like, no, they have. It was called Rogue One, and none of you went and watched it.
Yeah.
So don't give me that crap. Anyway, that's just my little rant there. But I think we each gave it 4 Porgs out of 5. So, yeah.
Solid movie.
Yep.
Definitely go see it, for crying out loud. What are you waiting
theaters. Yes, for sure.
And if you're listening to this, you've basically seen it with your ears.
for? That's
So
true.
go see it.
I thought that was going to be one of these moments where you're like, if you're listening to this, I'm dead. Troy and AJ have killed me. That's really what I thought. I'm like, oh man, where's this going?
So yeah, I mean, what else can we say? It's Star Wars.
It's fantastic.
Go see it.
Yeah.
For crying out loud.
Oh, and one more thing.
Yes.
It wasn't 30 years ago that Order 66 was placed. It was 30 years ago that Luke was in the original trilogy.
Right,
But then
right,
30 years
right.
before that was, so probably 60 years, I would imagine.
Maybe
Right.
66 years. You know?
Right, so all these 9 films will take place around 60 or so
a
years.
few generations of people. So there's a reason why Jedi are considered myth and legend.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
There you have it.
So, here's where you can find us. You can listen to all of our episodes at worldwarg.podbean.com. You can find us on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Just search World War G. On the social media, you can find us at facebook.com/worldwargpodcast. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. Just search at WWG Podcast. You can also find our shirts and other merchandise with a logo designed by Colton.
Logan?
That's why I said logo the first time, because I said logo. I think that's what it was.
Oh.
At shop.spreadshirt.com/worldwarg. You can also email us anytime
Day or night.
at worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. So, this has been a special episode of World War G. Episode, I guess this would be 158. So, that has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
And this has been Colton.
May the force be with you. Stay geeky, my friends, and
All that jazz.
I'm
To all a
tired.
good night.
I'm tired.